Dubai is known for its excess. Everything is shiny and new, an oasis of lavishness planted in the shifting sands of an endless desert. But years ago, they did something so lavish, it made everything else, all the gold-plated Lamborghinis, the Burj Khalifa, and the glittering fountains, pale in comparison. Called the world, it's a massive man-made archipelago in the shape of the countries of the earth, so large it can be seen from space. So in this video, we're going to discuss shocking theory why Dubai's $12 million island are sinking. You definitely won't expect this, so make sure to watch till the end. Now, though it's reportedly sinking, with the coastline in Dubai not offering much vacant land, Nakheel Properties decided to construct entire townships in seawater. Between 2001 and 2006, the Dubai government-owned company announced several plans. The first plan was to build the Palm Islands, an archipelago of 3 islands called Palm Jumeirah, Palm Jebel Ali, and lastly Palm Deira, which was planned to be the largest of all. In 2001, Nakheel Properties started building Palm Jumeirah, spread over 5 square kilometers. It created 560 hectares of artificial land and added 78.6 kilometers to Dubai's 72-kilometer coastline. From a vantage point more than 50 stories high, Ali Mansour looks down on the islands he helped build nearly 2 decades ago. It was a great challenge, he says, a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Those islands make up Dubai's iconic Palm Jumeirah, a man-made palm tree-shaped archipelago, home to luxury hotels, pristine beaches, and nearly 80,000 people. It was a first, recounts Mansour, an unprecedented project of that scale. No steel or concrete was used to create the base of the island. Instead, the team used only sand and rock. Even though Dubai is surrounded by the desert sand, they couldn't rely on the Emirates' bountiful resources. Desert sand liquefies once in the water, Mansour explains. This 360-degree open view with all the landmarks on the mainland and looking at the island in full is really astonishing. Nakheel, a local real estate conglomerate, dredged 2 billion cubic feet of sand from the seafloor and used GPS precision to shape it into a 17-fronted palm tree. 7 million tons of mountain rock was piled around the island to form a crescent-shaped breakwater 7 miles long, designed to protect the newborn island from waves and storms. These rocks make up the crescent-shaped 11-kilometer-long breakwater that protects the island from large waves and high winds. Nakheel says all the rock and sand used to build the island could form a 2-meter-high wall that would circle the globe 3 times. Construction on the project started 20 years ago. $12 billion were spent on the world, and after land reclamation was completed, a large part of the islands was sold before the financial crisis. Then the financial crisis happened, and it all got stuck up. In fact, according to information as per NASA, Palm Jumeirah too was sinking at the rate of 5 millimeters per year. The financial and real estate crisis of 2008 and the drop in oil prices in 2014, which fueled the Emirates economy, were the first events to have a negative impact on the feasibility of this macro project. The problems continue today. The UN International Governmental Panel on Climate Change published also a report which shows that sea levels might peak at a level of 0.76 meters in 2100. The calculations for the year 2500 show a rise of 1.8 meters, while other estimates are higher. Specifically in the UAE, reports expect a land loss of 1.6%, 1555 to 5,000 square kilometers by 2100. Climate change impacts are very important in this part of the world. Global warming has a huge impact in terms of water scarcity and rising sea levels. Those huge cities and huge buildings are very near the sea, Christian de Perthuis, economist and professor at Paris Dauphine University and head of the climate economics chair, said. If sea levels continue to rise, it will be very difficult to protect those cities. The consequences of rising sea levels are economic harm and the relocation of low-lying urbanized cities, for instance the population on the famous Palm Islands, a man-made island in Dubai. Vibrocompaction technology was also used to prepare the reclaimed land once the island shapes had been completed. So you can imagine what can happen to these islands even if sea levels rise a little less than the worst-case scenario. A group of 300 islands forms the map of the world. Its 9.34 square kilometers has added 232 kilometers of coastline. Despite the project being started 20 years ago, it's yet to be finished and it's the one that has experienced the most problems. A recreation of the constellations is set to be completed between 2023 and 2028. In 20 years, numerous different problems have led to delays in the works, non-payment debts, legal problems, and irreparable environmental impact, and some islands sinking back into the sea. Despite all these unforeseen circumstances that have threatened the feasibility of the project, the developer Nakheel is not giving up on it. Even an archipelago as successful as the Palm Jumeirah with hundreds of properties housing wealthy residents complains arise of poor water quality. The seawater within the palm that grows stagnant by the day due to the disturbances in tidal movements is caused by the breakwater protecting the palm from erosion. Additionally, the thousands of tons of sand piled on a seabed previously flat to build these islands not only affect the marine ecology but also threatens erosion of the natural Dubai coastline as most of the sand was drawn from there. Another concerning reason was the lack of electricity. The islands didn't have access to electricity, which was a bummer, considering the mega properties Dubai planned to attract international tourists. It was planned that electric cables were going to be installed under the Persian Gulf, but alas never carried out. On top of these, projects like these require construction workers millions. Nakheel, though, disagrees with the evidence Penguin shows that the islands are sinking. Our periodical monitoring survey over the past 3 years didn't observe any substantial erosion that requires sand nourishment, a company spokesperson's statement said. They don't, however, dispute the fact that work has stopped, describing it not as dead but merely in a coma. There might be a rescue for the sinking islands, though assuming they're indeed sinking, a company from the Netherlands claims to have a solution. Dutch Docklands, a firm that makes floating islands, wants to help. They recently won a bid to build something called the Floating Proverb, which will be 89 floating islands that, when viewed from the air, will spell an Arab proverb. According to the conclusions obtained from the environmental studies presented by the researcher Bayanas Salahuddin, Dubai's beaches lose between 10,000 and 15,000 cubic meters of sand each year. The Palm Jumeirah construction, which has affected the natural flow of the wind, has caused the tides to increase their rate of erosion. The result is that marine sediment deposits have moved 40 kilometers over a 5-year period. All the movement caused during the construction has affected marine biodiversity, burying oyster beds and causing irreparable damage to the coral on the seafloor. Nakheel, though, isn't giving in just yet. This is a 10-year project which is slowed down, said Graham Lovett, a spokesperson. This is a project which will be completed. The immediate result is the artificial alteration of the marine flows and the reduction of marine currents. In the long term, this barrier is unlikely to be sufficient in the event of the worst forecasts or even the most optimistic of these. The exacerbated rate of construction that took place during the first decade of the 21st century and the pollution associated with this activity did not help to mitigate the warming of the city or of the Persian Gulf. At the end of the day, the $12 billion invested in the world by the UAE are sinking and sinking fast, making it one of the biggest real estate fails in the modern era. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below. This was all for today. Hope you liked the video. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Stay safe, and we'll be back soon with another video just for you guys. Until then, take care, stay safe, and be happy, guys.